Welcome to the Hunt Test Hobo Podcast, your place for truckside chats and insights into the retriever game. Whether you're just getting started or you're a seasoned handler, this podcast is another resource for tips, tricks, and insights from both the amateurs and professional trainers' perspectives. Each week, we'll dive into the nitty-gritty of retriever training, sharing stories of success, overcoming challenges, and forging stronger bonds with our dogs. This is the Hunt Test Hobo Podcast. I'm Chris Rudd, your host, fellow retriever enthusiast, and student of the game. Let's dive in. Welcome to another episode of the Hunt Test Hobo Podcast. It's going to be a great week for everybody out there. I know I say that every week, but I just have a feeling it's going to be a good week for you all. I hope you have a fantastic week. I am out at Abbey Farms in Bethel, Ohio. We are doing our amateur pre-grand training group. I got my good buddy Zac Patrick here today. Welcome, Zac. How are you doing?
Man. Thanks.
You got to get close to that mic, man. You're like scared of it.
I'm getting there.
There we go. Yeah.
Speaking to the mic.
Check. 1, 2.
Yeah, Bethel, Ohio, man. Abbey's Farm.
Yeah, go Buckeyes.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a Buckeyes fan?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good.
They're on a bye week, but
they're on a bye week, which took me a little bit of time. I kept checking. I was like, when the heck are they playing this game? And then I was like, the time change, and then and you know, I'm just an idiot. It's basically
right.
The synopsis of it. But I feel like Ohio is a great state. I like Ohio. You guys are basically like Illinois, but you have hills.
There's a few down here.
You guys have hills
closer to the river and a little bit further east.
I mean, like we're here at Joby's house, like you can like see Kentucky.
It's like a cliff.
It's like whoa.
You start rolling your gun.
But there's a few times I was driving here and pulling the trailer with my little half ton, and you see the signs that say like take this exit at like 20. And you like slow down to like 35 and you're like, oh, no.
No, this means 20.
20 is necessary.
Yeah, there's no guardrails.
And you're like, thank goodness for trailer brakes.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that lesson today, last night.
I'm glad I didn't have a trailer.
But not everybody was safe. It was fine. But both Bill and I were like, whoa, there's hills here. Yeah. And Andrew Canick was like, did you drive here? I was like, well, yeah, how else did I get here? Like, I didn't say that.
6 dogs here.
And I was like, I don't know how else he thought I got here, but I got here. And he said, man, there's hills everywhere. He's from Southern Illinois. It's not the flattest part of Illinois, but this is different. So
right.
Beautiful here in Bethel, just outside of Cincinnati. We had a great time. Joby's Abbey Farms is awesome. I have to admit, I've been to some pretty cool pre-grand training places. If Joby had running water, this would be the ultimate place to prep for the grand.
Yeah, I mean, he takes great care of it. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's almost too hilly, at times where we can't get a bomb. We can't get a 230 or a 240 sometimes. There's just too many hills.
Yeah. I think we got one that tomorrow. That one's got to be at least 230.
Yeah. I mean, it's over 200.
Yeah, for sure.
And then even the one today was still a difficult 180.
That was that was you placed that well. We'll get into that here in a second. But before we get too deep in the podcast, I want to thank our sponsors. Thank Purina Pro Plan for sponsoring this and every episode of the Hunt Test Hobo Podcast. I've been feeding that good old food, and all the dogs are doing great. I love it. I've fed it for like 7 or 8 years. Good stuff. And also want to thank the Hunt Test Guide for sponsoring this podcast, and Retriever Foundations. If you're looking for a new puppy course, Dan just launched his, and it is awesome. I've had so much positive feedback on it. If you're looking for that course, hit me up. I'll send you some discount codes. Or if you're looking for the Amateur's Guide to Hunt Test Success, which is my course, put in the promo code HOBO, HOBO, and yeah, isn't it great? Except for like,
you can't forget that.
I feel like I have some BO today because we have not showered since like cooking out there.
It was 90 degrees.
Yeah, it was surprisingly warm for this time of the year.
Yeah,
and it wasn't so much the heat; it was the fact that the wind was like non-existent, then existent, then non-existent, and the sun was baking us for that first series.
It was definitely a weird wind day.
Yeah, like we had the wind in our face, at our back. Like there's just nothing we could do about it. But that's the grand.
Swirling on us a little bit.
So we decided to do a amateurs, mostly amateur. I think 95% of the folks here are amateurs. amateur pre-grand training day. I thought it would be fun to get a bunch of people who have ran the Grand and we had a lot of people who hadn't ran the Grand. I'd say like 5 or 6. Would you?
I think it was 5.
5, yeah, 5 people who have never ran the Grand wanted to come out and train with us. I think 4 of them are planning to run the Grand this year.
Yeah.
So that
everybody said in the spring they're running it.
Yeah. Everybody's either running in the fall or the spring. Most are running the fall. So I talked with Joby and you, and I said, hey, you guys want to do this? So, we drove out here, and it was a very, very good day. But before we get into how good of a day it was, one of our fellow participants who kind of hung out with us, Paul,
Everybody knows Paul.
Paul gave us some pretty good quotes that I think we're going to read. We don't
even need a last name.
No. Well, mostly because I don't know Paul's last name because I only met Paul. Ramponi. What, man, I'd be scared of somebody named Ramponi.
Everybody loves him.
I'd be scared of somebody named Ramponi. He's here. And honestly, it was awesome. He stood as a judge and told people who've never ran the Grand, hey, I'd have you on 1s or 2s and here's why, which was really, really helpful. I also gave my 2 cents into a lot of that, and I was probably wrong, but it's the way that I feel like I've seen the Grand, ran.
Yeah. I mean, the last, 4 or 5 years, we have a better feel than, when Paul was doing it years ago. It's changed a little bit. They've changed a couple rules and got loose and tougher in certain situations.
But mostly it was, I think we were pretty much aligned on some things. He told me I was on 1s on one dog, and I was like, no way, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, well, you were a little choppy at the beginning. I was like, oh, they don't care about that.
They want you to cross that line.
They want me to cross that line. I said, I think I'm fine.
But he does have some good insight too.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a good looking blind, but I think I would have been on 2s just because I really believe, and I changed the way that I train prior to the Grand is I do a lot more drills that honestly have overs, or I need more angle in my cast than I do like throughout the summer. I'm mostly doing field trials where I want more straight backs, and not like literally a straight back, but like
got into the bird.
Yeah.
It's like I need to get to that bird.
Yeah.
The least amount of cast.
A dig is okay,
Yeah. You're kind of playing their game where you're like, hey, I need to change in direction. I cross that line.
Yep.
Cross that line.
Yeah. And so I think I was totally good.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a lot of the things we saw so that folks who are prepping for the Grand or just training their own dog for whether it's master test or HRC, just a finish test, things that we saw that we think, if it were addressed earlier would have helped them do better at the Grand and better in this training day. And we'll talk about what we did and get into that. But some quotes. Wow. He broke a pane of glass. He broke like a pane of glass. I read that wrong. Remember, this is a marking test, not an Easter egg hunt. That's a good one. Yeah. All right. And from that point on, I have not read these.
Oh, geez.
So I'm a little worried. We might be having.
I think you're all right. I read them all.
You did? They're all clean?
Right. They're all clean.
Maybe not funny, but clean?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Good.
Your dog may be running the wrong direction on this blind, but he definitely is good at it. What is that? We did see some of that today.
Yeah.
Some heroes can turn a blind quickly from Cy Young to sayonara. The guy from Retriever Memes is probably gonna have to steal some of these. These are pretty good. If you think winning isn't everything, you haven't won anything. Okay. If you're not worried about losing, then you're sure to get there faster. I actually don't understand that one. If you're not worried about losing, then sure, I'm not going to read it more. Dogs don't lie on lines. Sometimes they're just reading a different book. I don't know if I agree with that one. Yeah. I think dogs can flat out lie. You're looking here as in they jump off to the left or right. No. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Well, I've heard that one before. That's not original to him, but that's still good. A slow whistle decision on a blind guarantees a quick trip to the truck. That one we actually saw a ton of that problem today.
Yeah,
we saw way too many dogs being stopped way too late on blinds. All right, that dog is self-employed. He should get a 1099 at years. That's the best one I've read yet. Oh my gosh, that's good. I'm gonna read that one again. The dog is so self-employed. He should get a 1099 at year's end. Oh, that's good. Warning, warning, Will Robinson. He's lost in space. I've seen that a few times. Winter, that happened to Winter on one mark. She was totally lost in space. Somebody call 911. This dog is in need of life support. Is that on the blind or like I don't know. That one sounds like. How many more we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get 6. Okay. I guess got to keep going. All right. Please call him before he changes area codes. Please call him in before he changes area codes. That dog isn't creeping. He just has poor eyesight and is trying to get a better look. Jeez. That dog didn't break. He just anticipated my send. He's heard people say, I forgot to say that. He's heard people say these while he's been judging.
Right. You don't know how I train.
You don't know how I train. That training thoughts. What? I don't know what that one is. I'll try any new thing as long as it works. How do you know if it works if you haven't tried it yet? Who knows? Good trainers use less tools when you have better techniques. That's not funny. That's just true, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Okay.
There were some better ones at the beginning, but
yeah, it kind of.
I like the Easter egg hunt one.
I think that's
a hunt test. It's an Easter egg. It's not an Easter egg hunt. It's a hunt test.
I like the one about the 1099. I thought that was really good. Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys didn't find that was funny, just skip it.
Sorry.
Yeah. We thought it was funny. All right. So let's talk about what we did today. So the first set, we decided. Okay. So I texted the group. We had 15 dogs. Or so. I think 15 to 17. Some of us had a few dogs that were not going to be running the spring or fall, but were good enough to do it, and we wanted to create drag back for the first few dogs. So we had like 17 dogs, I'd say.
And just work out the kinks too.
Yeah, and like everything. Yeah, I ran Autumn first on one because we had a channel mark that we wanted to see how that looked to the dog, and it went a little far, so we went from a long short with the wingers to a short short. A few other things we did. We set up I walked up and I said, or I texted everybody, let's back up. I said, hey, everybody's going to be driving into this thing. Most of you don't train at these grounds. Your dog's not going to think that they're at training. They're going to think they're at a test. And I think that is something that was probably the most valuable thing we got all weekend.
Right.
Was these dogs legitimately thought they were at a test. Like every dog was jacked up.
Pretty much everybody. I mean, when we showed up and we got their dog to the lines, nobody ran a collar,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and which might sound counterintuitive. Well, you guys aren't running a test. Are you eroding control? And the answer is no. What we did was we talked ahead of time and we said, okay, what do everybody want to work on for their dogs? And everybody had like an objective in their mind of what they were trying to work on. It didn't work out perfectly for everybody, and I'll talk about why it didn't really work out exactly for me. But every dog thought that they were at a test.
Yeah.
So we took advantage of that and we set up probably a difficult, it was a beyond a finish test.
Yeah, it was an above average finish test.
Yeah, above average finish test was probably like a difficulty of like a 4 to 5 out of 10 at the Grand. Yeah. Sometimes you get to the Grand and you see some tests that are like, this is just a weekend finish test. And then sometimes you get to tests that you're like, holy cow, this is like, we're at the Grand. We're at the Grand. But what did you think of the kind of how we did the first series and kind of walk us through kind of what that was?
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was, it was just a good look. There's some great concepts in there. It was a good idea. I'm glad that you came up with it and texted everybody early. Hey, think of what you need to work on. This is what I'm doing, and this is why. And I think it gave everybody opportunity to kind of, that does make sense. And we had everything. We had judges back there. We had the canopy, everything ready to go. Called your dog down, nothing too crazy, but yeah, get them off the truck, have your handler's jacket on, instead of just like my cutoff.
Yeah, and we did the bumpers and the blinds just because of logistics. But when the bumpers were brought back, we hid them from the next dog coming. so that they didn't see those bumpers. They thought the whole time that it was a test. And I'll set up, I don't know what you specifically were working on for Jet. But for me, Winter had her first finished test of the year. It was a week and a half after she was done with maternity leave. I probably shouldn't have ran her, but she flat out like just cheated the crap out of a bank. And so I wanted to see if she was going to do that again, if she thought she was at a test.
She was breaking the law.
She was breaking the law. I really do need to post that video that Tyler made. Because we all watched that last night, and it's just so funny.
Cracking up.
But I thought that was going to be what I was going to work on with her, was trying to set that up. So I made a decision at that point, unless she did something absolutely egregious at the line or with another mark, I was not going to let her realize that she wasn't at a test until I got the bigger bang for my buck. And honestly, she moved a little bit more than normal. She didn't creep out like at all, but she was just like, instead of like sitting with her feet on the ground and like tracking with the gun barrel and looking at where the birds was, like she was like, she'd see a bird come out and then she'd like look at it and move her front legs, and then she'd move her legs like all around, but she kind of kept her butt down mostly, I think. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to correct for that, because I'm going to correct her for either a blind or this mark. And then she did those great. So I was like, well, crap, I just kind of missed my opportunity to get, I don't think there any damage was done, but like looking back, I wish I would have had somebody, lightly hit her on the butt with a crop and denied those birds. And then she's like, every time she comes to the line, she's going to be like, am I at a test or am I going to get denied? That was kind of the thing that we were trying to get with those dogs, and it just didn't work out for me. But Jet did great on it. I think he won the day for that series.
I noticed with him, when he has a collar on, he pretty much like, he doesn't cheat, man. He's shaving points, and he doesn't cave to the suction. He knows better, and he's 6 years old, and been around a long time. Just pretty sound, seen it all, and that's what I was going to work on. Especially that channel mark we had, pretty much get in there, skirt the shorelines, and then dig out, and he did awesome on it. Yeah, I was waiting for him to do it, but he stayed true.
Yeah, so a few of us tried to take it to the next series and try to get the correction, because we never did any correction in the first series. But I think, then I was like ready. I was like, Zac, get ready. We're going to get Winter on this next one. And she didn't move a stinking inch. So, it is what it is. But there's a lot of things I learned from that, watching other dogs. So in that first series, we had a bunch of people who had that very different skill levels, right?
Oh, yeah. It's basically broken up. You had 3 or 4. You could just see like, all right, these guys right here, all right, these are the cream of the crop. And then it's like these guys that would probably have a pretty good chance to get it done. And then it's like another group that we got some work to do in the next month. Yeah. They need some more guidance. You can tell. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Maybe they just haven't had the opportunity to be around better trainers or have great grounds to train on, just stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely noticed that. And I think in the first series, there wasn't like a ton of, like, the dogs mostly did the work. We had a very, a blind that you wouldn't really see at the Grand. You would see something very similar, but probably slightly easier because you couldn't lose the dog. But we set up a blind that was down the shore. You had to kiss a tip of a point, and you had to cast off of it. And if you didn't cast off of it, you would lose the dog.
Yeah.
And which is a very standard Grand blind. Like, you have to cast off a point, you have to cast off a rolling point, whatever it is. And what I noticed is that a lot of people handled that point very differently. And so I kind of wanted to hear, what was your approach to running that blind? Where, like how did you approach it?
Well, I kind of broke it up into like thirds, I believe. Like that first part, we had a pretty big entry. Like, unless they cheated, I was kind of anticipating him to take water faster, but he held that line pretty good for it. Like, he held true.
And for those that, like, it was probably 30 yards of the mark was running maybe 5 feet off of water.
Yes, if that.
Yeah, maybe even less. Maybe there. Yeah, right against it, because that was just and then it slowly, gradually, the land faded into water, And so you had school dogs who were jumping in the water early.
Yes.
And you had non-school dogs that would run and then
feet fat.
And then they would just like, they would see that water and they would just like go right and just run down the shore.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought we were going to get a lot more battles right there at that point where that changed.
Everybody did really good there.
The dogs all took casts, got in the water. I was very, very surprised by how good they did getting in the water there. Where it got dicey is they would get on this point and I noticed that a lot of the dogs that weren't perhaps, like you said, the cream of the crop, they did not sit and look for their handler.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the most like, wow thing to me is how much those dogs would sit and just slowly turn back. And I was like, man, that's going to make it really hard to run precise blinds.
Yeah. Yeah. Going forward for all of them. I mean, the whole blind though was like once that cattail clump that was off that point, and their decision making there, you had a dog that had to have like make a good decision right there.
Yeah,
because otherwise there's another cattail point right behind them. Like I mean, they get in that clump and
they're gone.
Dogs were lost.
Yeah,
dogs were lost.
Yep, and Lot did better than I thought, but I was really concerned because they'd blow the whistle and those dogs would turn towards the shore and like crawl up on land, and I was like, "Oh boy, good luck getting them off." And then they got the cast though, so I was pretty surprised that blind didn't eat more dogs up. But then I was soft on them, and then we moved to the second series.
Yep.
Where Zac kicked every dog's butt.
I don't know about that. There was some that got it pretty good. There was about 3 to 5 that did.
I think 3 dogs did it. I think 2 dogs actually did it right where they didn't backside that long gun.
Right.
Was there more? Crush did it right.
Crush did it right. Jet almost did it right.
Nah, Jet backsided it, dude. He backsided it.
He shaved his left shoulder was bugging it, you know?
Oh, yeah, sure he's bugging it. No, but really, I think he was the only dog that's running the Grand that did it right.
Probably.
That did the whole test right.
Well, Autumn did it right.
Autumn did it. Yeah, she did it, but she's not running the Grand, but she did that mark really well.
Yeah. It was a tough mark, man.
Yeah.
I set up when they were still running the water test. Joby and we went over there and we set up 4 marks and a couple blinds and kind of had like a double going on and run it any way you want, you know.
Yeah, that was the big thing is we really tried to make everything exactly to what that dog needs. And while you were setting up, I don't even know if you saw this, but the dog, was it the dog with the big balls?
Dude, you love that dog.
Dude, that dog is awesome, man. I have never, for those listeners, I have never seen a dog with the cojones that this dog has. They were huge. They hung down.
What's the dog's name?
I don't know. He's Big Balls. That's what I call him.
Every time you come up to the line, you were excited.
I was like, here comes Big Balls. I like Big Balls is what I said once. And everybody looked at me. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I don't like it like that. But this dog is his name is Big Balls. But Big Balls, he's got a set on him. But he was good. He did pretty good.
Yeah, all day he did good.
But was he the one that I stayed back and helped? I can't remember. There were so many yellow labs.
Yeah.
There were so many. I couldn't keep everybody straight.
There's probably 8 yellow labs of the 15
that are all the same tone. Yeah. It's not even like there wasn't like a light one or a dark one.
A lot of medium tone.
They were just like straight up the middle yellow labs, and I couldn't keep them all straight. Like I knew who Big Balls was though.
Jeez, man.
What's wrong with that? You know?
Yeah, you got it.
I'm trying to see.
But how most of us ran that though. I mean, we set it up to where the long bird
was first bird out.
The first bird out, then the short bird was your go bird. Ran that as a double, and then you switched. But then the short bird was the first bird out, and then we had a longer. It's
more like a medium bird.
Yeah, about 130 yards.
Yeah.
But still the longer of the second longest of the 4.
Yeah.
And
And then you had a check down that you had to remember. And that check down was nice. It was in the ditch. It was angled in. We ran that same bird at the SRS. It was a good bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then our blinds incorporate a lot of factors, hills, and
dude, that right blind. Like, how many dogs actually did it right?
I mean, it was tough.
Did Jet do it right? I can't remember. He kind of did it
He
right.
had one funny cast at the hay bale.
Okay.
He should have went to the right of it. He went to the left, but
Yeah.
he finished it pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard, but I think what I learned is that I don't think that most of the people that we trained with, I could be wrong, but train at a long enough distance.
You could see that because it was like they'd get to that 100, 120 yard range, and then it just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Like the wheels were spinning, like they were late on the whistle. They were letting their dog really carry out these casts, getting in, out in no man's land. And yeah, they were just, you could tell.
Yeah.
They ran a lot of 100-yard blinds.
Yeah. Yeah. And the longest blind that can be at the Grand is 150 yards. But pre-Grand training, I'd pretty much run every blind unless it's a water blind, and unless there's a reason. I really try to run most of them at 150 plus significantly. Like that blind, was it 200?
I would no, probably 175.
175.
I bet both of them are about 175.
Yeah, both are about 175. But for whatever you're going to be training for, make sure that you're running way longer than that.
Yeah.
And so we did our second set. The dogs kind of struggled with that longer. I mean, honestly, they struggled with every mark. Like, not every dog, but there was some dogs that couldn't pick up that short check down and get behind that gun. There was some dogs that could not get out to the long bird. Some dogs would backside that long bird.
Right.
The go bird, they mostly did pretty good.
Yeah,
on.
that was, yeah.
The go bird, they did pretty good. But then that angle back bird, they couldn't get that
Severe
angle back.
Yep. That path they were taking.
Yeah, they were taking the highway. So every mark had a lot of meat in it.
That's the stuff you're going to see. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
no,
in one of those 4 series or one of your 2 land series, you're going to see a long memory bird.
Yeah.
So that's what I was giving people a lot of opportunity to do that, but then at the same time, like a lot of people checking out too.
Yeah.
Let's run a single here, or actually give me that 1-3 instead of the 3-1. Let me get that as a go bird. I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah, and that's okay. Right. But I do think that there was a little bit of an eye opener to some people. Like,
for sure.
Like, oh, this is how hard you guys train for doing it for the Grand.
This is what you do.
Yeah,
okay, right.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of that. The other thing that I noticed is that folks were not attacking the blind. And you hear the judges say attacking the blind, and I don't mean it in the way that a judge would say attack the blind, but folks were, and I'm just trying to think of the best way to give this as an analogy, or to explain this in some form or fashion. I have I wouldn't say a corridor, but I loosely have a corridor in my head of where I want my dog to be when I'm running a blind.
Yeah, same here.
And when my dog is approaching the outside of that corridor, I blow the whistle well before they're going to be outside of my corridor. I want them to
anticipating it. You're reading the dog.
I'm reading the dog.
Their shoulders.
Yeah, a lot of
where their head's at.
Yeah, the shoulders. That we talked about that a little bit before. I could tell by by almost every dog there. I could read them enough to see which way they're leaning with their shoulders, their gait, where their head is kind of every once in a while cocking to. I'm like, that dog's going to just continue to fade to the right.
But that's also, we're probably a little bit more experienced than some of these guys.
Sure.
But it's also there's an art to it too.
Yeah.
There's
a
art
feeling
to reading
to
these
it.
dogs
Yeah.
and being a good handler. You see it at every single weekend.
Yeah.
Some people just have a knack for it and are just better at reading these dogs.
Yep.
Where other people are never could see it coming. But.
Yeah. But my real point is that they had this imaginary corridor in their mind, which is, I think, was way bigger than mine in my head. And they would wait until the dog got out of the corridor, blow the whistle, you'd have distance and momentum, and that dog would end up 10 to 15 yards to the right. And I'm like, good luck getting that cast.
Or more, yeah. Their dog's fading right, their dog's turning right, and then, I mean, it's hard to have a 35-yard left kind of over-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not going to get it,
And so, this is how I would train if I saw that happen. Because when you get a young dog out of season level, you're going to see a ton of that. And you have to let them roll for momentum. There's this with a seasoned dog, I'm using a seasoned dog, like a senior dog, whatever. A dog that's right out of transition, they're just starting to run cold blinds. You're going to let those dogs carry good cast.
Yep.
You're going to let them get out of that corridor. You're going to stop them, and you're going to teach them how to cast back into that corridor. And you're going to want those nice, big, back and forth casts, teaching them, just to change direction. Because the ultimate sin,
the cast.
To carry the cast. Ultimate sin is to not change direction.
Yeah.
Okay. It's that basic principle. But I think that there's a transition from, okay, you're through finish now, or you're getting ready to run finished. You're no longer in that space. You have to demand another level of precision.
Yes.
That I don't think that some of the people that we had today realize that there is a level of precision that you have to aspire to.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you don't let the dog get out of the corridor for training purposes, but I knew that most people were trying to win the training day.
Yeah.
And then to see them letting their dogs get so out of the corridor, and then they would cast them, and then so they get to the right of the bird, and they just keep giving them a left-hand cast, and the dog would take like 30 steps and then fade back to the right, then fade back to the right, then fade back to the right.
Almost trying to get to the blind in the least amount of whistles, and that's not even on my radar. Like, I don't even. I'm
like, dude, did your dog commit to the cast you gave? No. Yeah. If they didn't commit to the cast, you need to do something there.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. That's what I mean by attacking the blind.
Yeah.
So they give a cast, the dog barely gives them any of that cast, and they would just let them.
Shaves a couple degrees.
He gave them some cast, but not nearly enough, and then immediately fades. And they would do that 4 to 5 times, and I'm like, dude.
Now you're 25 yards east of where you need to be.
Yeah.
Now you're in big trouble.
And that's you're out at the grand. But but for me, it's not even so much about being out of that. I'm like, all you're teaching your dog is that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
By letting them get away with that 4 to 5 times in a row like that, you're teaching them that that's a reward. Like, that's good, because when a dog carries a cast, they think, I didn't get stopped, I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
Right.
And then they're going to pattern that behavior. And I'm like, tweet, okay, you got to scale up. Now you have a decision here, depending on what your dog has done previously. Maybe you give it one more time and see if they take it. But not 4 times.
Yeah.
So sometimes you know that's a habit with your dog. So you stop them, you give them the cast, they don't give it to you. Tweet, good stern correction, recall them back, and give them the cast. And here's the important part: they better give you more angle than even you expected out of them.
Yeah.
Because you're now demanding that
you need that change in direction.
You need that change in direction.
You gotta play their game.
There was not enough change of direction today. There wasn't.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You want them to carry that cast through the line and keep on going back to the other side.
And then when they give you that cast, I'm totally okay with you going outside the other side of that corridor.
Yeah.
Because you rewarded that dog, but there was just so much of people trying to get through the blind.
And a lot of people stopping them right on the line and then trying to get that literal straight
back.
A
little straight back. I saw that too. It's like,
that's so hard.
You're never going to get that.
No, it's so hard. You have to work it a little bit. Every once in a while, you might get lucky and back, and they take that perfect angle right to the bird. But
and there was clearly suction on that right hand blind that you set up. Every dog was getting pulled to the right. So when I went up there with Autumn, I honestly thought Winter was going to smack it, and she kind of did some funny stuff, but she got through. I think she would have been on 2s. It wasn't like a 10 out of 10. I'd say it was like a 7.5.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, little things that I didn't like, but it was fine. So, but when I walked up there with Autumn, who's this not a super experienced dog, can run any blind. She's been, and I say she can run any blind, I mean, she has all the tools to get through any blind. It doesn't mean she's going to do it right because she doesn't have experience, but she has the tools that I know I can work her out of any situation and teach her how to do it.
Yeah.
So when I lined her up, I sent her, she had a great initial line. She was like, she was going to line it. She has not had a ton of birds or blinds over Old Falls. And you put that blind just to the right, downwind of where that Old Fall was.
Yeah.
And she hit that spot, and she went into hunt mode. Her nose went down. She turned left, and I blew the whistle. And I did not care which direction. Because in my mind, when she stops like that as a young, inexperienced dog, when she stops and puts her nose down to hunt and it's not where she's supposed to be, all I want her to do is turn the correct way and dig.
And get out of there.
Get out of there. That's all I care about. I don't care if she goes too far to the right or if she goes almost straight back, but she turns the right way. I don't care. And I let them roll.
Thank you for paying attention to me.
Yes. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm not looking for precision. I'm looking for a gross.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for a gross change of decision there.
Just how old's Autumn?
She's 10 months old.
Jeez, dude.
She's 10 months old, and so she stopped there. I went tweet, and I went and I walked. I took a step. I made it super clear. I stepped to the right, gave a pretty straight bangle back, but I stepped into it, and I said back, and she got out of there.
Yeah.
And you saw what a trained response is to falling into suction.
Yeah.
Is I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and she went and she was booking it out of there.
Right.
And I don't apply any pressure there. She just knows, he said back, verbal back. I saw which way he turned, and she ran. Yeah, I think she lined it after that. Like, that was like her only spot. She got hung up, and she just chucked it, the other, 100 yards.
Yeah.
But my point is that I knew what and I also knew that she could get too far to the right and get into danger. And with a dog her age, I was like, I don't want to put her super far where I can't see her to the right because we would lose the dogs to the right. So I said, I am not putting her there.
There was some recovery, but if you were late on the whistle,
you're toast,
stuck
man.
Behind the trees, or the hay bale,
and then you get behind the hay bale that Mark came out of, and man, it ate him up. So I just saw so many people, like, we all sat there, we were all in the gallery, and they all let their dogs get to the right, and they're like, I can't. Why can't I get my dog out of there? And I'm like, well, if you saw 7 other dogs do it,
probably gonna happen.
Probably gonna happen to you. So how do you attack that? And to me, if Autumn would have went to the right, I was gonna stop her, and I was gonna make her look at me for a long time. That's the other thing I saw. I saw so many people blow the whistle and cast, like the dog wasn't even turned around yet.
Yes, and there's a lot to pick up. I mean, there's 12, 13 of us up there. I mean, everyone was very respectful and sitting still, but it was still, the lighting was a little difficult, But you're right. It was like they just expect them to
tweet,
be out of boom.
Tweet. And I was like, dude, chill out. Yeah. So I was ready. I was going to sit and wait, and I wasn't going to move, and I was going to blow a second whistle. Tweet. That's another thing that people don't realize that they can do. You can apply a disciplined whistle at the ground.
We explained that to them a couple of times,
because I did it a few times.
About popping and auto casting, and how popping doesn't look down upon. I mean,
and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it in an AKC. If you're about to give a very critical cast, there is nothing wrong with tweet, wait.
Pay attention. I need you here.
We are got to be connected.
And I think those older dogs, I mean, like Jet, when I do that, it's like I can almost
Didn't he autocast on you today on that, or was that Crush?
No.
So one dog did this, and it was interesting. We got to that. It was on the water blind. The dog got onto that point, and somebody blew the whistle and waited a long time, and then blew a second whistle and waited a long time. And before, right when they were getting ready to cast, it was the ever so much movement. The dog's like, I gotta go. And he knew which way he had to go, and he jumped into the water, took the correct cast, and lined the blind. And that's just training right there of being patient, because you have so many tools that you can build into these dogs to get it right. So anyway, I think people were casting way too fast. That was one thing I saw.
You just slow down. I mean, it could be a little bit of nerves too. Some people may have never trained in a big group like this, and a lot of us didn't know each other.
Yeah.
Like I probably knew half the people here.
I didn't know anybody. This was me. I knew Joby, you, and Bill.
Okay.
And Andrew. I think that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to other people, but I didn't know who. I couldn't keep track of everybody. It was, I met all these new people.
Right. And we're trying to get through the day and run dogs. Run 3 setups and 10 hours.
Yep. So we got done with your ball buster test, which
you just said it was a 7.5. Now it's a ball buster.
No. Yours was. It's probably 7.5 to 8. It was a ball buster to those dogs. Your blind was huge, like in a good way.
Okay.
It was a little bit of an.
What do you think about the left-hand one? The left-hand line. We didn't really talk about that.
I didn't. Both of my dogs. I think Autumn one whistled it and Winter lined it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very clear picture.
There was I
lied.
But there was a lot of dogs that had trouble finishing that too, and I mean,
for sure,
it was pretty split. There was
dogs got to the right of that hay bale and couldn't recover.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 of us that did line it, and then it was there was some that was the road is, the cart paths to get in their way.
There was I forgot about that. I'm trying to describe this for the listeners. There was a road that went to the left that led to the blind, but it was on the far side of the road. So from 99% of the blind, the road was on the dog's left.
And then they had to cross it. And then they had to cross it initially.
Yeah, they had to cross on their left. Yeah, it waved, and it was asphalt too. So it wasn't even like a known surface to a lot of these dogs.
Right.
So that was interesting. Yeah, that was really interesting. But the thing that I realized is that a lot of these dogs haven't had to run through a ton of suction and line through suction. Like, hey, I'm pointing you there. You're going to be pulled by so many factors, but you have to go there. And that comes through running very, very challenging blinds.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I felt like was missing.
And a lot of them too. A lot of them. Yeah.
I mean, it takes a whole dog to do it.
Like, when you go out to train, and you got to look at everything and run it with a purpose, not just, hey, I'm going to run this blind today and we're going to do this, run it to that tree. Like there's got to be something to it. You got to have some type of idea and get better at that day,
especially if you're preparing for the grand or a bigger test. And we're talking all about dogs that are ready to be pushed to this level. We're not talking about young seasoned dogs. And I need to stand corrected. I'm remembering Autumn probably like 5 or 6 whistles on it. She was ping-ponging back and forth over the road.
Okay.
With that, and that's a great example, is that eventually she'll be able to line that, because
she will. Yeah.
It's just, you have to demand the precision, and don't honestly, it's like, hey, if you don't get the cast you want, bring them back and redo it. Like just call them back to that point and re-give them the cast. That's to me, that's the fastest way for them to learn the cast you're giving. Not, hey, they let them scallop 2 or 3 times and then demand it.
Right.
Now, if you have a momentum problem, that's different. But if you're doing your other stuff right, demand the cast.
Right.
Call up the BS.
Guys, like, I don't even know if some of them had the, remote in their back pocket a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like, this is a golden opportunity. Like, get this might be the opportunity of your weekend
to get the correction you need.
Get it. Get him. Hey, this is what you've been waiting for, man.
Yeah. So I think that is very true. And so we kind of got our butts kicked in the second series. Every dog, had a little bit of a kerfuffle. I don't know how to let it.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't crush it, right? Yeah.
There was challenging.
There was challenging. So I was like, okay. What I noticed is that the dogs faded into a lot of different suction factors, but I wanted to make something easier and get success for the dogs. So we turned around and ran from the backside of those pine trees, and basically we set up 3 marks that made up a standard key relationship drill. Which, for those that are listening, a key relationship drill is basically just teaching. It's a way you can. It's all online. There's a bunch of different resources for it. You just Google key relationship drill in retriever training. You'll see it.
Tight to the hide.
To the backside of the hide, under the arc, past the bird. Those are really the 3 different types of blinds that you can possibly see. So I set up most of those. I set up 2 to the backside because there really wasn't, with where the hay bales were, and I didn't really want to go and do a whole big setup. We were gonna hand throw at this point, just because
90 degrees.
It was 90 degrees. I was like, we're gonna have 2 to the backside, 1 under the arc, and we ran those. And what I noticed is that those dogs did not know how to finish a blind.
Yeah.
And I think it was distance. We had blinds that were out.
Well, one was 200, the other was 171, and then one was like more like 110.
But it had to go up. It was in a.
It was a nasty.
Yeah, it was a hard 100. It was a hard 20 yards. The last 20 yards was really hard. Yeah. Anything in front of that wasn't really that big of a deal.
Right.
But what that one is this Abbey Farms is an old golf course, and it was an extreme sand bunker.
Steep, very steep.
Very steep. It was safe, but the dogs had to basically climb up a straight wall.
Yeah.
Sorry. Basically, I had to climb up a straight wall, and those dogs did not know how to handle that.
Right. And in that bunker too, the cover was a little thicker, so there's some avoidance, not going directly in there, kind of angling in, carrying down the brush line, and then getting in there. But yeah, I think you did a good job of setting that up. And
well, I honestly thought it was going to be easier.
That's what we set up for.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we just kicked their butts. Let's do something to get some confidence in.
A little bit more successful.
And I don't feel like that's what we actually got.
It was Well,
what did you think when you walked
even that
up
middle
to it?
mark? Well, that middle mark, that road had a big
I didn't know there was a road there when I set it up. I'll be honest. I had no idea there was a road there.
Still, I mean, we had probably 4 or 5 dogs that struggled and got to that road, and it was a giant wall to them.
And there's another thing is the wind was in our face. So the wind switched. So when we set it up, the wind was at our back. After we had ran like 2 dogs, it was blowing like 10 miles an hour into our face. And I'm like, it's the Grand. That's what you're going to get.
Here's our 200-yard line into the wind.
And some dogs couldn't, like some dogs it was clear they couldn't hear, but most hurt us, and it wasn't that bad. But I noticed like Autumn, I never run her into the wind. Like I've just never done that as a young dog. And she overcasted, which is very common for that. Yep. And she overhunted, like she hunted way short and just turned into like a ski dog.
Yeah.
Just like quartered her way to the bird.
Yeah.
Which that's just experience. A dog has to learn like when you're picking up a bird, because it's just a completely different concept to them. They're so used to the wind blowing deep. So they plow. Like we saw that a lot in that last series where the dogs would get deep with the bird and they would just hunt forever.
Yep.
And they never could find the bird.
If they missed it.
If they missed it, if they missed the wind one side or the other,
they were kind of gone.
They would just they couldn't find that bird. It was so interesting because I thought it was going to be easy, but that ate them up. But they could not finish those long blinds. Right. And that just showed me that they need to go back and they need to push the distance further.
That maybe just some lining drills too.
Yeah. You know? Oh yeah, for sure. So what would you do to help these dogs? Because honestly, I thought that the marks were going to be much more of a struggle than they were this week, and they weren't. I felt like, or today, it's just been today. I felt like blinds were the weaker thing, which surprised me. What kind of drills would you do to work on that?
Yeah, I mean, my go-to drill, literally the first drill I do coming out of winter. Like it's hunting season's over. I'm hitting the feet like. It's probably some still frost on the ground. I do what's called a definitive casting drill. I don't know where I got it from. I probably saw it online.
Yeah.
I don't know.
YouTube.
7-8 years.
YouTube.
Yeah, it probably was 7-8 years ago. YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube it.
But set the white pole out, 110 yards, have 2 other poles, one on the right, one on the left, at about 70. Cast them to the back pile. Bring them back. Cast them to the back pile, stop them 20 yards.
So are you sending them to the back pile or casting?
Yes. So sending them to the back pile.
Okay. I didn't know if you were having them stand in front of you. That's what confused me. Yeah.
So by your side, like dead bird back to the back pile, and stop them 20 yards, angle, right back, bring them back, go to the back pile again, come back. Next time down, you're going, stop them where they're pretty much dead even with the 70-yard poles, the over poles, give them a leftover, and then. Next time. So
it's just a giant T, really.
Yeah, but it's not like your typical pattern blinds or like it's kind of like modified T, something like that. Or then the next time, I'm going and I'm stopping them 10 yards before the back pile, and then maybe giving them an angle
and calling back. Yep.
know, like that.
Yep.
And I don't know. I feel like I get really good response for that, and just it makes them pay attention more. Like I feel like you run enough pattern blinds. They just kind of get in the motion of like, okay, right hand goes up, going here. Like, but yeah, I think they start to really associate like where your hand position is and where you're bringing it down, like stuff like that.
You Paul asked me, he's like, hey, will we do a drill in the morning? Because these dogs definitely need a drill, a handling drill. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, with the time we have, but I think I'll do a drill demonstration. And I was just going to set up either a mod T or just a straight 4-pole drill, or similar to what you're talking about, almost the same thing. And I was going to show them how to stop a dog 4 feet in front of it and cast them to a different place.
I didn't hear him say that.
What?
I didn't hear him say that.
No, that's what I said I was going to do. And you just confirmed we both saw the same thing, which is the dogs don't know how to handle that last little bit of being pulled off of that bird or like that's where things fell apart when when the dogs would wind a bird and think they knew where it was, but the wind was blowing in their face and they got all whacked out, and then they were overcasting, and they would you would give them a pretty much a straight right back, and the dog would just jump straight right. Yeah. And then they wouldn't blow the whistle fast enough, and all of a sudden the dog went from being like 10 yards in front of the bird to like 40 yards to the right of the bird. And it happened so much. I was like, wow, why?
Like a hunt 'em up blind.
It was like a hunt 'em up blind. I was like, dude,
that goes back to like your everyday training and just being complacent, just like, oh yeah, let them just kind of stumble on blind, you know.
Stumble on it. Yeah.
Or you gotta, you know, when you're training every day, you gotta stay on that stuff. Like, that's important. That could cost you.
Oh yeah,
down the line, big time.
You have to set things up that really challenge those specific things. And so tomorrow it's going to be stopping them right before the bird, calling them back in, casting them to another pile, handling like 7 times in the drill. Like that's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to send them to the right. I'm going to stop them immediately. I'm going to send them to the left. I'm going to call them into another one. I'm going to stop them. I'm going to cast them 7 times to 4 different places.
Right.
And then let them pick up the bird. Is that not enough people do that? They just like stop them one time, give them the cast, which is important when they're younger and they're learning how to take good cast and lines and hold the line. But once you get to that certain point, then you got to start jacking up with their brains, man. And just indefinite casting, like you said, is that you're putting them all into different scenarios. And you know, Clark's on the Hunt Test Guide. He shows how he sets up pattern blinds. And honestly, that's the pattern blind that I do now. I like the way that he has set it up with that one. He's got one of those of the 5 poles. It's right in front of you. It's short, and he does that because there's just suction everywhere. Like to teach how to handle good national level blinds, whether that's the Master National, an SRS, or the Grand, is that you have to train by putting your dog in suction and teaching them how to cast out of suction.
Correct.
You know, that's if Clark was here, well, I call him the pattern blind Nazi. Is that you got to
go to? Huh?
Yeah, man. But he's right. Like that's like, and honestly, like you get stuck training with your group, and I set up a lot of our tests, and Bill can set up good tests, and so can obviously Tyler can set up good tests. But we're always putting our dogs into suction and casting them out. Because if our blind doesn't have that, we don't do it because we feel like it's a waste of time.
Right. I'm not even running it.
I'm not even going to run it. Because
you get out of it.
Yeah, you have to teach them how to get out of those hard suction points, and I felt like that was the biggest thing, that dogs really just didn't know how to cast out of suction today. And I'm over exaggerating it. It wasn't every dog.
It wasn't brutal, you know.
But I wondered, did they know what they needed to go do to work on it?
True.
And so that's what I think tomorrow I'm going to do the little drill. I'm going to demonstrate it and be like, I just feel like we all need to practice more casting out of suction.
Right.
And I'm going to give
finishing the blind.
And finish the blind. Yep.
You got it, man.
I don't know if I got it. I definitely don't got it. I'm the guy that said I like big balls today.
Let's see what happens tomorrow. But what about, what are we doing tomorrow?
I don't know. You set up the Ball Buster Land Water Series for the morning.
It's tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a little tougher than today's water test. But once again, you can run it any way you want. You want to run it in singles, or you want to run a triple, go ahead. But
yeah, we got Millie coming to see us right now. Hi, Millie.
Oh, Millie girl. Yeah, it's going to be I would say, you know, once again, probably like a 7 or 8 at the Grand.
Yeah.
That's probably what I set up, something like that.
And I'm probably going to run it. I don't know how I'm going to run it. I think I might run it as a singles with 2 poison birds. I think I'm going to do it differently.
You can do that.
Yeah. I think I've been thinking about it after looking at it, because to me, my biggest problem is definitely blinds. Like I know that's what Winter's weakness is after watching today. Like she wasn't perfect
I think both these blinds tomorrow are great. You're gonna separate some dogs tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're not trying to do that, but you're gonna see what you have and what you need to work on.
Yep. And I think I didn't want to make this like a seminar, but I think I'm gonna do a little bit more coaching tomorrow.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna slow down and be like, okay, here's how I would have done that. Yeah. And you know, they can take it or leave it.
You don't. I don't. And your personality, I don't think anybody takes it like that. Honestly, like I think everyone knows that you're just trying to help them, and you don't come off as like brash and just you're beating these guys up.
You suck.
Yeah, no, you don't come off like that. I don't think anybody at any time.
We got to give Joby a hard time though.
Oh yeah,
he pulls up for our 3rd series and looks at it and he says, "I'm gonna crush this." And so all I did the whole time he was getting ready to run, I said, "I can't wait to see you crush this, Joby." He didn't crush it.
No. Well, Millie's half deaf.
Yeah, Millie has some other problem. I shouldn't really. I'm not making fun of Millie right now. I'm making fun of Joby.
Yeah, he got humbled pretty quick.
He got humbled. It was good. Yeah, I've learned.
I run from this spot every day.
Every day. This is my property. It's like, I did tell him when he smacked the water test, I said, home field advantage.
Oh, yeah. But that's why he wanted to run from there. You know?
Yeah.
Set that up.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of like what other things would the listeners find value in from our experience today?
Man, I would say, don't be afraid. Not many people ask for help either. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because there are people that are a little bit more experienced. And I would say anything that people ask, like, what's the rules on this? What is this? But not so much like, what would you do in that situation? There was a couple, but I think, don't be afraid to ask for some help, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm really excited we did this. I hope we do it again next year. It was fun. I was tired by the end.
I'm tired right now.
Yeah, I'm like ready to call it. We've
everyone else chickened out. They're all back there hanging out.
Just watching who's Illinois playing? Illinois who?
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. All right, cool.
But yeah, I mean, we tried to get a couple more people out here, but yeah,
nobody wanted to. I
didn't want to leave Chris hanging, so here I am.
Well, hey, I appreciate you helping me out because I need the podcast for Tuesday, so it's good that
I'm
you're
a regular now, man.
Oh, you're two times. Two times you're the regular.
Hunt Test Hobo Podcast.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up here, man. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to Purina Pro Plan for sponsoring this and every episode of the Hunt Test Hobo Podcast for the Hunt Test Guide and Retriever Foundations. If you're looking for courses and how to get a cast out of suction, Clark has a great class on how to do pattern blinds. And honestly, I talk a lot about some of this stuff in my Amateur's Guide to Hunt Test Success, which looking back on it now, I feel like I kind of made for the guy that's looking to do well and finished in the grand and all those things. I feel like there's a lot of good, valuable things in there. And I'm excited for tomorrow. It's going to be a good day. So everyone, thanks for listening and have a fantastic rest of your week.
Take care.
Take care.